Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my good viewers and my young children, boys, girls, and all the youngsters. Today, I am before you to try and tell you all about goodness of human beings. One of the goodnesses that a human being can possess is about giving alms, giving things to others without any return desired. And you must have all heard there is an English saying, and mostly it used to be used in the then English-speaking countries, mostly the Great Britain. And people who were needy, they used to say, whenever somebody passed by, somebody approached, the needy people would say, "Charity, if you please. Charity, if you please, give me some alms. Give me something." So, charity in that context is to mean charity for about alms, giving something, a coin or a rupee or a pound or a dollar. And people in need used to ask for that. Charity, if you please. But today is about asking for charity. You're asking others for help, for charity. But today I will tell you what is about giving charity. That you have to give charity to others. You have to give alms and help others. That is important. And that's the crux of the talk, the narrative that I would place before you, ladies and gentlemen. And this is in the context of the charity which has been designated by the United Nations in the format of International Day of Charity. And the day falls on 5th of September. Alongside UN, the whole world observe this special occasion. So, my dear viewers, with that little preamble, I would like to tell you that the talk and the narrative that I have for you has the title of Charity Begins at Home. Mind you, why do I say at home? Because it starts with the individuals. An individual, alongside many others, an individual at a place, at a home, within the family, all right, gives something, helps or provide help, and then that becomes remunerative, a good interest, all right, and you are helping someone or helping anybody, even in the family. And everything that starts regarding charity, giving kindness, showing kindness, is about charity at home. That is why it is a very famous saying, charity begins at home. If you provide charity, if you help your family members to begin with, and you develop passion, all right, and sympathy and empathy for your family members, there's no doubt that you would not do so for the others outside the family. And this is again the heart and soul of charity. Giving charity, providing help, showing kindness and providing kindness. So, my narrative, charity begins at home. This narrative or talks that I am having for you today is the 4th of September, by the way. It's the eve of 5th September, the International Day for Charity. So there are two segments, two parts of my narrative. I will hold the first part of my narrative today to you for your thinking, and also for another very important element which I would request you to find and do so. What does it say, my dear viewers? It says inspire. Alright? Inspire someone. And then in the end, today. Inspire someone today. Inspire someone today. This is important. So you, just like you begin charity at home, you begin charity like today. You begin it today. Don't wait for tomorrow. And you inspire others to do the same to the other folks. You provide charity, you show kindness, you show love, friendship, etc. That is the So charity becomes symbolic. It is symbolic. Of course, in real terms too. That's it. So, this is what I say, and as I feel, my dear viewers, I would like to right away, start with a quotation, with a very famous saying by no other person but a great leader, great philanthropist, a great person with huge heart, known all over the world, and particularly in the subcontinent, India, Pakistan. Who is it? I'm sure you know by now. As I said earlier, she was a great philanthropist. She was Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa. The whole lot of people in the subcontinent used to call her Mother, my mother. So she said, never worry about numbers. Never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time. Help one person at a time. And always start with the person nearest you. Nearest you who? In the family. Wherever you live. Nearest you. So make a beginning with him or her. So never worry about numbers. How many people? Whether it's one or two or three, doesn't matter. It can be just one person. So never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time. And always start with the person nearest you. Mother Teresa. Great lady. There could be no better time than now, ladies and gentlemen, when the world, or the whole world, is beset with one of the tormenting unknown diseases, deadly and unabated. The humankind is battling. You know who I'm referring to, or which I'm referring to. The humankind is battling to get involved in charitable work, as the peoples of the world actually have, to the great recognition of human values, especially human kindness. We, on our great planet Earth, are greatly satisfied about and are proud of charity, human charity, by the human, to the humans, charity. Something like democracy. Of the people, by the people, to the people. Charity is almost the same, in the same breath as democracy. Right. We in our society owe it to all and sundry that we motivate our families, our children, siblings, and dear ones into making a humble beginning of giving away alms and other household goods in charity to the needy. This is what we can do at home to feel happy. See, it's very important to feel happy. And even narcissistic, self-love. Love yourself. Like I used to say, I used to tell my friends, love thyself and love thy God. So you have to love yourself first. You have to know yourself first. You must respect yourself first. And you build the trust in yourself first to be able to do something for the others. So that's it. This is what we can do at home, do for yourself and do for the others. And that makes you very, very happy. So when you are happy, you also feel like having respect for yourself. So it's a vice versa. All right? And that is the beauty in which lies your kindness. But COVID-19 pandemic has caused havoc past 20 months in the whole world. And people have been fighting with negligible respite. Despite the preventable vaccines now being used, and the struggle and trauma continue to hound us all. Despite the vaccines, we are still under stress. We are still traumatic. But we don't have to be hopeless. We don't have to despair. We have to have optimism. And that is the key for living. Things will finish one day. COVID-19 will go away one day. I'm sure about it. All right? It's a test of the time. Probably Mother Nature is testing all of us to see how much patience we have, how we can face it, how we can battle the disease. That's the test. So, thanks to human kindness and philanthropy, the corona affected and the economic recession the victims of economic recession are being provided help and support through healthcare services and charity organizations. And situation becomes indelible with rampant poverty. That's one, the outcome, poverty, So, the poverty where immediate and constant help and service top all emergencies for alleviation by support, both monetary and material. Poverty exists everywhere in the world, from powerful industrial to developing countries. It sure affects hundreds of millions of people, regardless of their social and cultural backgrounds, and stands as a barrier to real equality and prosperity. Like I said earlier, despite everything else, equality, the right, the democracy of the people, by the people, for the people, it's always the same. Kindness is the key. Now, dear viewers, the UN General Assembly, in recognition of the large role that charities and individuals took to mitigate human suffering and humanitarian crisis, under relevant resolution, designated 5th of September as the International Day of Charity. Originally a Hungarian civil society initiative to commemorate the anniversary of the death of Mother Teresa. See, that's the link. The anniversary of the death of Mother Teresa, this was to be commemorated, in Hungarian civil society, took the first step, and partly as a tribute to her work and dedication to charitable causes, International Day of Charity on September 5th took off worldwide in 2012, when the UN provided a platform for charitable opportunities to take place. Mother Teresa, the renowned nun and a missionary, nun and a missionary, went in 1928 to India, where she devoted herself to helping the destitute and later became an Indian citizen and founded a missionary charity in Calcutta, now called Kolkata. Sorry. Mother Teresa received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979 for the work undertaken in the struggle to overcome poverty and distress, which also constitute a threat to peace, mind you. Distress, trauma, insecurity, etc. They are all threats to peace. You cannot find peace if you cannot control all those elements. She unfortunately died in 1997 after 45 dedicated years of charitable service and is remembered as a woman of great faith and unmatched charitable donation. UN advises all member states, international and regional organizations, non-government organizations and individuals alike to commemorate the International Day of Charity by encouraging charitable acts in their respective communities to raise public awareness of this event. This is exactly my purpose today, dear viewers and ladies and gentlemen. I want you to share with me the knowledge that I have and the feelings that I have, to inculcate those. I'll be very happy to see things happening. So this is the main element, is to raise awareness. And I'm sure one day we will also do campaigns how to be charitable to others and help people, show kindness. Like the concepts of volunteerism and philanthropy, charity manifests real social bonding and contributes to the creation of inclusive and more resilient societies. Charity can reduce the worst effects of humanitarian crisis, supplement public services in healthcare, education, housing, and child protection. It also causes advancement of culture, science, sports, and preservation of cultural and natural heritage, as well as of the marginalized and the underprivileged people, like the currently defined transgender community. Today, transgender community, the people, the persons, men, women, children, they are becoming the focus of attention, which is a very good sign. And that's why I picked it up particularly for you to remember that there is a part of our society who are transgender. There's a big community, not just small. They need help. We need to show kindness. We need to provide charity, even to them if they are underprivileged. The UN 2030 Agenda on Sustainable Development, on eradicating poverty in all forms and in the spirit of global solidarity, is focused on how best to meet the needs of the world's poorest and most vulnerable citizens. Poverty presents an enormous global challenge for the international community and is a threat to a sustainable development, which has been launched by the United Nations for many countries. Every year, charities all over the world help to save and improve people's lives, fighting disease, protecting children, and giving hope to thousands of people. International Day of Charity serves to increase and enhance social responsibility across the entire world, increasing our support for charitable causes and bringing everyone together in solidarity. Every one of us, everyone together in solidarity, and create more inclusive solidarity, inclusivity, and resilient societies. The 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, set forth in the agenda can be grouped into 6 critical areas: broad areas. For example, the people, the planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. The six key elements extremely important, and as one which I would like you to become extremely conscious about is what is called planet. The climate challenges, the environment, the degradation of nature. We human beings are responsible. I wish just the way we do charity for other people, we could do charity for our nature. What does it mean? We have to be empathetic. We have to be kind to our nature, to the natural world. This is where your climate challenge comes in. And we have to become more and more conscious, more and more aware that we have to fight. We have to find ways, to face the challenges for a cure. So there are six different elements: people, atmosphere, prosperity, peace, and partnership. They have the potential to transform our lives and our planet by providing the framework needed for philanthropic institutions. So that's the bottom line. A framework is provided for philanthropic institutions. The UN recognizes the civic engagement like charity work, which plays an important role in terms of development in creating the desired global change. See, global change, climate change, antipathy, okay? And there are a few ways to do so. There are certain means how we can, do this work. One is raising awareness about how difficult challenges are and pushing for collective action in global issues, creating trust among diverse groups and building social capital, and eliminating societal and cultural barriers in creating cohesion, and by building resilience through community activities as many as possible, and enhancing the sense of responsibility for one's community. It's very important. If we do everything else, but we do not develop the sense of responsibility to do the right thing at the right time and in time, then everything will be lost. So that's it. Now, my dear viewers, a word about Pakistan in charity work. As good luck would have it, and I'm very proud of it, Pakistan is recognized as the 91st most generous out of world's 144 nations as have been assessed in terms of giving away charities to the poor, which are seen to have done a tremendous job providing to the affected from coronavirus pandemic and lockdowns, while at the same time a big slice of population have faced financial burdens and yet preparing for rehabilitation. The local charities played a pivotal role in battling the financial shocks from the epidemic and after effects of restrictions imposed. On this special date, different organizations and NGOs arranged special symposiums, webinars to mark the day and create awareness of the background and importance of IDC, that is International Day for Charity, and to give recognition to the role of charity that it can play in mitigating, in reducing poverty, sufferings, and crises of disparate sorts. So that's it. Many things can be done. Many achievements are possible. Interestingly, Pakistan, being one of the most philanthropic nations, has a somewhat diluted concept of individualism and capitalism. People who are fortunate enough to belong to the haves consciously make the effort to ease the burden of the have-nots. And indeed, all the philanthropists make a humble beginning at home, because they consider it their duty. A concept that rings especially true in crisis conditions such as COVID-19. As a nation, we might not have a lot, but we have big hearts, said a Pakistan origin British. Just visit any village and they will open their homes to you. Putting others first is our culture. A Pakistani said so, British origin. We have seen sufferings. We have empathy and compassion. We might even have too much of it. Maybe surprising for many others. Might even have too much of sympathy and empathy and compassion, as widespread education will be required to convince the masses that social distancing is not the same as abandoning your neighbor. See, very important. A lot of emphasis on this. Social distancing is not the same as abandoning your neighbor. So, in this crisis situation of coronavirus pandemic, we all have to obey, follow the SOPs, the standard operating procedures. But here, one of the procedures is to keep 6 feet distance from each other. But it does not mean you are abandoning that particular person or those people. You're not giving them up. They are part of you. So they said, your neighborhood, the person who is just immediately after you. So the social distancing is not the same as abandoning your neighbor. I think it's beautiful, beautiful really. With the coronavirus affecting overwhelmingly, Pakistanis have been giving far more than required, 2.5% of zakat, mandatory alms giving that is, while others who don't even earn enough to qualify for zakat are offering as much charity as the less fortunate in a unique and inspiring way. Here, we should remember what the new WHO World Health Organization Director General had to say, and I quote, "It is not time for celebrations. It is not time for celebrations. It is time for preparations." This is regarding the coronavirus, the pandemic, the disease. As we do not know the future, nobody knows. We can't be sure, but we have to have hope and we have to try. We have to struggle and battle. Regretfully, the country's weak healthcare infrastructure is unable to bear the influx of COVID patients without the support of aid groups and philanthropists. According to the Pakistani Medical Association, which says it works to protect physicians' rights, another very important matter, physicians' rights. Doctors and paramedics, many of whom laid down their lives exposed to coronavirus, have repeatedly appealed to the government to evolve a realistic policy and provide proper medical aids. So all the medics, paramedics, doctors, they've been asking, requesting, even begging to the government to evolve a realistic policy. As said earlier, Pakistan being known for immense charity work in the world, it will be logical to talk here about some of those philanthropists whose contributions are matchless and immeasurable. So, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you a very famous Pakistani philanthropist by the name of Abdul Sattar Idi, who was a prominent Pakistani philanthropist, social activist, ascetic and humanitarian. He was the founder head of the Idi Foundation, the largest non-profit social welfare organization in the world. Idi helped the destitute and sick for more than 60 years, filling the hole left by a state that had largely neglected the welfare of its citizens. Funded by donations from fellow citizens, is 250 centers across the country take in orphans, the mentally ill, unwanted newborns, drug addicts, the homeless, the sick, and the aged. Now, similarly, his wife, Bilkis Bano Idi, was a professional nurse and one of the most active philanthropists in Pakistan, running the Idi Foundation after his demise, along with her sons. Their charity operates many services in Pakistan, including a hospital and emergency service in Karachi. Together with her husband, they have saved over 16,000 unwanted newly born babies. She is rightfully called the mother of Pakistan. Bilkis was named the mother of Pakistan. As in the words of Mother Teresa, never worry about numbers. I said earlier, never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time and always start with the person nearest you. As charity, we begin with our own home to provide help and charity. Surely, there are so many ways to get involved with the Day of Charity, like organizing our own events, collecting funds, volunteering with good cause, or simply raising awareness for a charitable organization. The best is to do a collective fundraising event. All these efforts and initiatives can come about through our own families to begin with. As we move up, we may face challenges, but we got to take them on for success. The success in charitable work brings about coveted satisfaction and happiness coming from mitigation of human sufferings, physical and mental. And we all get a crown on our turbush in the end. That's it. Happiness is again the key. It brings you all kind of position where you can forget all the stress and trauma, and because happiness is the key. For philanthropic work, let's all remember, my dear viewers, and pursue the principle of friendliness to all and malice to none. Friendliness to all, malice to none, by which we can make ourselves worthy of Mother Earth and nature. Of Mother Earth and nature. We can be worthy of it, really. Well, thank you very much, my dear viewers. This is your host, Salahuddin Chaudhry, a Rotarian and former senior diplomat of Pakistan. You can reach me on the email Saladin168, Saladin CH, SALADINCH 168 at gmail.com, and Twitter handle at SaladinCH, SALADINCH. It's Twitter handle. Okay, thank you very much, my very good viewers. Thank you for your patience, and let's not forget, charity begins at home. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.